If you want a student in college, if colleges want students to succeed independently, relying primarily on their own abilities, then you need to recondition students as they come out of the high schools, where everything is done for them. Guidance counselors make decisions for them, teachers make decisions for them, administrators make decisions for them, grant programs that the government comes in makes decisions for them. Granted programs, example, credit recovery programs. If a student doesn't come to school Monday through Friday, or just doesn't come to school, period, students now are allowed to take credit recovery courses on Saturday mornings to make up the credits that they don't have from Monday through Friday. Well, the reasoning that I use with that, and my beef with that is, if you have a student that's not going to come to school Monday through Friday, or misses 3 days a week Monday through Friday, what would propel that kid? What catalyst can you include in that credit recovery program that would have him come to school 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday to make up those credits? So you've got grant money coming in, being spent on teachers have to come in on Saturdays, or college students have to come in on Saturdays to pay to deliver those programs. You're paying them money from grants, and they're there to teach. College students show up to help out as apprentices, but now you got students that don't show up. So you've got programs that are supposed to be taken advantage of by a student who maybe can't come to school several days during the course of the week because they're helping their parents, or they're taking care of siblings, or whatever the case may be. It could be a pregnancy, it could be anything. It's not being utilized for those reasons. It's just the message is sent out: if you don't come to school Monday through Friday, you can come on Saturday mornings to make up the credits. That's just one program. If you're failing at something else, you've got maybe one guidance counselor who can dedicate his time or her time almost exclusively to 2 or 3 students who can't get through, again, missing credits. Or you may have an administrator who will purposely pass a kid just to get him out of the school. Give him a diploma, get him out of here, you see? So when you've got all of this weighing down on students, when they're picking up all these bad habits, and they're real, now you're pushing him into the college ranks. He's doomed for failure. It's not going to work. The retention rate in community colleges like Westchester Community College is about 32%. So you've got 1,000 kids coming in. You're going to lose 600 of those by the time they're out of freshman year. Why? Because they can't handle the work. And when they can't find someone to do it for them in college because the personnel's not there, or the funds aren't there, or the grant programs aren't there, then they have to rely on themselves. They don't have the abilities to do it, and what do? They drop out. They don't show up anymore. So, and the statistics are real. They're not fake. The government has stats on this. I looked them up. The community colleges across the country are hovering between 28 and 32% retention rates. What's happening to those kids who don't show up anymore? Where are they going? What are they doing? Are they getting jobs? Are they working at McDonald's for $10 an hour? What are they doing? You know, so if you're looking at the low success rates for kids coming out of inner city public schools, well, one of the reasons is because they've never been taught to rely on their own personal abilities. They've never been taught. They do have an exceptional mind that they can access and they can call into play when they need it. So, you know, they get to college and they're failing or they're having trouble, so they're waiting for the institution to come up with solutions for them instead of relying on themselves for solutions. So if I said to a high school kid, look, you go through a program like this, I tell you, I think you'll be better prepared for college. Why? Because this doesn't pull any punches. This tells a kid the truth about him, you know? If you're deficient, you're deficient. Let's fix the deficiency. See, in the high schools, they'll identify a deficiency, but the programs they've institutionalized to respond to those deficiencies doesn't fix it. Those programs don't fix it. So the kid retains and takes the deficiency with him and with her into the college levels. They can't get through the first year, the second year in college because they don't have the ability to do it. You know, no one's addressing that. And what are we doing? We spend 4 years in high school prepping kids to take a Regents, a standardized exam, which doesn't measure anything. It doesn't even measure intelligence anymore. So, the curve on those Regents exams, the grading curve, if the press ever got knowledge of that, if they sat down and took a look at how teachers grade Regents exams, it used to be a 65 was the passing grade. Now passing grade is 36 or 37 because there's a huge curve on it. So you go, how did this kid pass with a 36,
So would you say that if a student were to read this book, it would increase his chance, it would help him be better prepared for the experience that's about to happen?
It's not about reading the book. It's about delivering an entire program to a student in a controlled environment. This is teacher-led, student-centered. There's no way a kid could read this book on his own and get out of it what he would get out of it if a teacher were to lead him through it. Someone who knows the curriculum, someone who understands. I wrote this, so I know how to deliver this to a class. I could do this in a whole semester or in a year, and the kids will get what they're supposed to get out of it, because I'm not going to retreat from it. I'm not going to embellish it. I'm not going to work it over. And, this is the truth. If you're deficient, this book will tell you that in a controlled classroom environment. As you're going through the chapters in the book, you're going to learn, the students will learn where the deficiencies are. They'll be honest with themselves because we're going to force them to be honest with themselves. And if they are deficient in a certain area, if a kid can't get up in the morning and get to school on time, that's a deficiency. If you can't get to a college course at 8:30 in the morning when the college course starts, that's a deficiency. That needs to be fixed. So, I had a kid in my class at Mercy College. I had a two and a half hour class. This one kid came to my class the first 3 weeks, an hour late each of those days. All right? Now, he didn't expect me to say anything to him, because college professors normally don't. It's all right, he comes in whenever the hell he wants. After the third week, I approached him. I said, listen, if you think you're going to keep coming to class an hour late every day and not suffer any consequence for it, you're wrong. I said, I'm going to take points away from you. I'm going to lower your grade, and you might end up failing the course. He was floored. He couldn't believe that I said this to him. He was like, nobody ever said anything like that to him before. I said, you can't. If everybody else comes to class on time, I expect you to be. If I'm here on time, I want you to be here on time. This was a concept that was alien to him. It's not about academics. If you have the tools to be successful, then the academics come easy. You see? It's got to come a lot easier because you're willing to do the work. You're willing to be honest with yourself. If you've got a 3-page paper that's due next week on Thursday, and you got a whole week to do it, the kid who doesn't hand in that paper on Thursday has a deficiency. Something's wrong. See? So, you don't know how to write a 3-page paper? Okay, sit down and learn how to write a 3-page paper the right way. You don't know how to spell? Let's learn how to spell all over again. You just can't find the material you need to complete the 3-page paper? Fine. Admit to it. In a very nice way, this program allows an educator to tell a student, you're screwing up. And we've lost that. We refuse to do that in a politically correct world, especially in inner city high schools, because you can't have, for instance, and I'm going to go out on a ledge on this one. I don't care. But if a white teacher tells a black student you're deficient or you're failing, instead of focusing on what's wrong with the student, the administration will come back and say you're racist. So now I got to deal with that. So a white teacher might say to himself, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to be honest with this kid. I'm going to tell him everything is fine. I'll give him a 65 and he moves on with his life. That's what's happening across the board. Pure honesty. Allow teachers to be honest in the classroom. Allow teachers to feel better about themselves as professionals. The way a parent would approach his own child that's deficient. I'm not going to shy away from telling my kid something's wrong. I'd be doing my own child a disservice. So if teachers are going to act in loco parentis in the classroom, in the place of parents, we need to give them that power again, and not fear that maybe the teacher might say something a little bit offline or off center that might offend the kid. Because in the process of refusing to offend kids, we're sending kids off into the future in their own lives, totally deficient, totally incapable of dealing with the demands of society, whether it's in college, whether it's a job, whether it's even getting married. Basically, if the program is institutionalized in conjunction with academic curricula, dovetails in a way, and we can pilot these programs and teach teachers how to become inclusivistic of the program within their own classrooms, within their own disciplines, both on the high school level and on the college level, then I think we have a chance. I think that colleges like Mercy that take in a large percentage of inner city students, and again, mostly minority kids that need to, I think, go through the same stages that a lot of white middle-class kids went through from, at least from the end of World War II up until the present. I think we need to put kids through those paces. And we're not doing it. We're just not doing it. Again, for a host of different fears, a host of different incapabilities of stepping on people's toes, of saying the wrong thing, of just pure fear, teachers are not being honest. They can't be honest with students. And students, therefore, are not going to be honest with themselves because no one's ever put the pressure on them to approach their own inabilities with the honesty that they need to fix it. Basically fix it. And, and again, you can't put a kid through 12 years of education and the kid comes out at the end totally incapable of understanding how to educate himself. It just doesn't make any sense.